Happy Wednesday, my friends. The time flies. It goes by so quickly. I feel like we were just doing this yesterday, and it's been raining ever since then here in Dallas, but I'm excited to be back with you for another Lyons Share 1010. Lyons Share 1010 is a new, relatively new program where we interview a nutrition, health, fitness expert every single week, and they offer 10 insights in 10 minutes at 10:10 a.m. So much fun. I see Enoch joining. He's our guest. I see Kimber, Betsy, Jimmy, Victoria. Hey, Jimmy, Living Low Carb Man. Hope you all are doing great. Enoch is going to request to join very quickly, and as he does, I'm going to start to introduce him to you. Here he is. So we're gonna get him popping on. Come on. Here we go. It takes a few seconds at the beginning, but it will be worth your wait. I can certainly assure you of that. I actually met Enoch a while ago. Enoch ran. There he is. Hey,
how's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Doing good. Good to see you.
Awesome. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
I was just starting to intro you, so I'm going to give you a little bit of my personal side, and then you can fill in the gaps for us. So Enoch ran against my husband, Kevin, in Florida when they were in high school. And then when we were both living in Dallas a couple of years ago, we connected again through them running together. And I think in the high school days, maybe they were kind of equivalent. But since then, Enoch has just taken off. He is an incredible runner. He's run times that most of the people on this who are watching this could only dream of. And I mean, I could not run 100 meters the pace he runs a marathon, which is incredible. And more than that, he's just an awesome person. He's a genuinely kind, amazing friend. And he's an incredible coach. So he offers Team Florida Track Club coaching in Gainesville. I've worked with several of his athletes one-to-one. And my goodness, it's like a family. They talk about that team like it is everything. And so I know he's just pouring into them. And then he also offers virtual coaching. So I am sure he does the same amount of energy and enthusiasm to that. So fill in the gaps, Enoch. Tell me what I missed.
Well, thank you so much for the nice introduction. You're very kind. And definitely had some good running days with your husband, and then also a time in Dallas. And really, I love the Dallas community and the Dallas running community. It was really part of that there, and actually started coaching when I was in Dallas, and now coaching full time here in Gainesville, and just loving Team Florida Track Club. It's more than my job; it's my passion. And my wife and I, coach full time now. This is what we're doing, and we love it. I love sharing my passion of running with people, but I also love bringing people together through running. I think the thing with running is it's one of the few sports that you can continue to really compete in after high school and college. There's regularly races and things for people to do. So it's a great sport to get people of all ages, all abilities out doing something together, training together, being a part of something, being on a team at any age. And we have some runners in Texas. We actually still have some in Dallas, Houston, all over really. So the family's growing, and just love doing what I'm doing.
You know what? 2 years from now, 5 years from now, there's going to be only Team FTC, only Coach Enoch as the virtual training club company in the world, because you are incredible at what you do.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
I'm excited to have you share with us today. I'll also put in a plug for your wife, Angela. I invited either Enoch or Angela to be on the 1010 because they're both so incredible. And so the duo of them working together, I think that's pretty cool. One of these days, I'll convince Kevin to come work with me. I almost said for me, but I have to catch myself and say with me. So we'll see when that happens. Anyway, Enoch, tell me, what are the top 3 health tips that you think give people the biggest bang for their buck?
So I would say drink water, and then drink some more water.
Oh,
But really drinking water, I think, is, obviously very important. And as Americans and people in general, most of us are chronically dehydrated. And it's quite a simple thing, but it's also something that's easily to forget. So I know it's something that you recommend, and I also really, try to stay on my runners, is measure how much you're drinking, figure out what your needs are, either talk to Megan, ask someone, read online, you can get a general idea of how much you need, track that. So that's the first thing I'd say. Health starts with hydration, performance, focus, energy, all those things are directly affected by that. Next thing, the next tip I would say is remember that fitness and health isn't an all or nothing game. It's not, you have to complete every single run or just give up. Or, if you're like sticking to being healthier, if you cheat or you make a mistake, don't look back at that. Instead, focus on what you can control today or tomorrow moving forward. So don't beat yourself up for past mistakes. It's not, all or nothing. It's not pass, fail. If you're doing something, it's better than nothing.
Yeah. That's so hard for people, I think, like you and I to do, because we're hard charging, we're driven, and it seems like when we set a goal, we stick to that, whether that means running through an injury or whatever it is. But I am learning slowly that is not the best way to go. So it's not all or nothing. Do what you can do and don't beat yourself up over what just doesn't happen. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, with the injury thing, it's, I always tell my runners, like, it's better to take 2 days off now if something's hurting than 2 weeks or 2 months later, So don't be afraid to, take a step back to then take several steps forward, as opposed to just keep pushing on. And before you know it, you're broken, or you give up on the healthy cleanse you're on, or getting more sleep or things like that. So focus on what you can control, not what, goes wrong, essentially.
I love
And then the final thing I would say is focus on your breathing. That's something you can do, kind of anytime. But for runners or people exercising in general, I think that's one thing that's often overlooked, is being in tune with your breath. A lot of us, find sometimes with running or exercise that we need like headphones or music. I generally try to encourage my runners to get out of that if possible, because it really disconnects you from your breath.
Yeah.
So be in touch with your breathing, and if it means you're sitting at your desk and you need to take a couple of deep breaths because you're getting stressed, things like that. But then also in running, find your breath, focus on your breathing, find that rhythm, as opposed to disconnecting breathing from the rest of your life. So that's my third tip.
That is hard. It used to be hard for me to do. I ran for probably 7 to 10 years only with headphones, ever. And then we went on vacation one year and my headphones broke and I had to run without headphones. And ever since then, that was probably 2 years ago or so, it's very rare now that I run with headphones, and I love it so much more. So really great.
Yeah. And it's safer too, ultimately it's safer, and you really are in touch with your body more. And, running, breathing is more than just breathing. It's really finding that rhythm's really powerful, and it's not only going to make you faster, you're less prone to injury, you're going to feel better, and you'll be able to go further. So that's really, really good. Yeah. I'll admit, sometimes on the treadmill, it can be tough to get away from it. And also, at least on the treadmill, you're not in danger of,
cars,
of not being able to hear cars and things like that. So that's kind of where I like to draw the line personally.
I love it. Ooh, I cannot run more than probably 20 minutes on a treadmill without something, without a TV or headphones or something. So I'm with you there. And now on breathing, I'm sure it depends on what distance you're doing and the person and all of this kind of stuff. But what's one tip how most people are breathing that's not optimal for them?
So when it comes to exercise, a common misconception is in through your nose, out through your mouth. And while that's a good practice to learn to find your breath, because it's controlled, it's which is good, but it's also very limiting. You can only bring so much air in through your nose. So what I like to practice is using your mouth for both in and out, but finding a rhythm. So what I usually coach is a 2-2 or a 2-1 rhythm. So it looks like this. And that actually gets in sync with your steps. Cool. So that's the 2-2, or 2-1 is 2 in. So you find a good rhythm with that. And then also learning to breathe with your diaphragm. Breathing with your belly as opposed to your chest is really powerful. Helps you bring more air in and out. So those are some practices to bring into your training, into your running. Yoga is really good for learning your breathing, finding your diaphragm. But finding a rhythm with your breathing like that doesn't mean you're going to line it up with your feet through your head, but if you find the right rhythm, it'll get in unison with your stride. Yeah. And if you have music, that's really tough to do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to try that next time. Thank you.
Awesome.
So what's the hardest health practice for you personally to implement, and how do you get around it?
So for me, I would say the thing I struggle with the most is avoiding multitasking. Yeah. And it feels like you're getting more done, but really you're not, but I have a pretty active mind. I'm always switching back and forth to different things. This is popping up, this thought, that, and really, not only is it slower and you're less productive, but it really wears you down mentally.
Yeah.
Because your mind's shifting gears constantly. So that's something that I really struggle with. I'll be honest, I still have a long ways to go. But, just trying to avoid distractions, put your phone on silent, or, focus on one task and come up with a schedule, things like that. But it's definitely a struggle for me.
It is for me too. Honestly, I'm still working on that one a lot. Two things that help me is, one, meditating every day, just helping to practice that. And two, I have a Post-it note within arm's reach all the time. And I just jot something down there and it kind of gets out of my mind. So I'm with you on that one though.
And that's something, I need to do better with that, because I keep a lot of my schedule in my head, and that's not good, because then you're thinking about those, whereas if you put it on a Post-it note, then you're able to, you're going to have it later, but you can let that thought go.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, what's a myth in your area that needs to be dispelled?
All right, a myth. What I would say is, with fitness, and it kind of ties into what I was saying earlier, but really I think it's really important with running and any fitness that you're using that you want to be sustainable, is the myth is you always need to give like 110%. You'll hear that. Oh, I want 110%. I want, give it your all or nothing. Or, if you're not, no pain, no gain, those type of things, like that mindset. I find that to be unsustainable and unrealistic. Yeah. So really what you need to find is a balance in your health and in your life and in your fitness of, there's some days where the focus is high intensity, but there are other days that the focus is, you're still exercising or you're meditating or doing yoga, but it's a recovery thing. Yeah. And so what I focus on is stress, is good. It helps you get stronger and things like that. But without recovery, one, it's not sustainable, and two, you don't get growth. So stress plus rest equals growth. So finding that balance between those. So a lot of, people are like, oh, Enoch, you run so fast. And yes, most of the runs are considered, comparable. Some people are fast, but most of my easy runs are 2 minutes slower per mile than, say, my marathon race pace. And that's not going to directly correlate to everyone. But what it means is that's low intensity cardio exercise. That's actually, for me at this point, is recovery. But I also work in an off day every day of the week where I don't run. I focus a lot on, stretching, foam rolling, things like that. So the myth is, people think that you have to be like, 100 miles an hour. If not, you're wasting your time. In reality, that's not sustainable. You're going to get injured. You're going to get burnt out. So find a balance. If the focus is a hard day, that's okay. But make sure you follow that up with rest. And so you'll continue to grow.
Oh, listen to him, everyone. Balance, up and down. Yeah. Some stress is good, high intensity, but then we got to recover and let our body rejuvenate. I love that. If someone only has 1 minute to improve their health, what would you tell them to do?
So originally I was going to say floss your teeth, but that's, I'll leave that to the dentist.
I like that, though. That's good.
So
it's a heart disease risk, too. Did you know?
Yes, yeah. Health starts in the mouth. So that's something I'm big on, and it's something I follow. But I actually, instead, I decided to go with do a power pose, some type of pose that makes you feel strong. Yeah, exactly. So shoulders back, hands on your hips, cross over, put your hands up. If you're in the office or something, that might be a little crazy, but you could do it when you go in I do it all the time, so that's something you can do in a minute. It's also something that I use before a race or a workout, or, before I came on Instagram Live, I'm getting my power pose going. So that, that really influences how you feel and your confidence and your energy. So practice your power poses, make that part of your practice. And if it's something you have a minute, do it. And then also incorporate it into other areas when you need it.
Oh, so good. That's a unique one. I like it. All right. What's your favorite motivational quote?
So I'll be honest, I'm not really big on quotes so much, but I would say keep showing up. I think that's a good, that's definitely, if you show up and you continue to show up over and over again, progress will be made. And that kind of ties back into, you don't have to give 110% every single day to your practice or to workout.
Yeah.
Just show up and you'll get the benefits. And in the big picture, things, will work out. You're going to get stronger. You're going to feel better. You're going to, your energy. And so the same thing, it's not all or nothing. Just show up, do the best you can today, improve on that, and you'll get progress.
I love it. And that's such a benefit of having a coach, that all you have to do is show up, and then the coach can guide you into, this is a hard day, this is a speed work day, this is a long run day, whatever.
Exactly. And a team too helps with that as well. And maybe you're not a runner, maybe you don't have a team that you can access, but a team can be one training buddy, a friend that you're accountable to, someone that that you feel some level of accountability to, will help you show up when it's tough.
Excellent. I love it. All right, Enoch, we only have a minute left, which I'm so sad about. But if you could just tell us one more thing that you want to share, and tell us what your next race is. I know you just got rained out or something. So tell us where we're going to see you next.
Okay. So one last thing I would say is, with running or fitness or trying something new, often people say, oh, I'm not a runner, or I could never do that. What I would say is fake it till you make it. Get out there, do it. Keep telling yourself that you are, and before you know it, you will be. We all have a that we know. So just show up, tell yourself you can poses, show up, and you'll make it. And before you know it, you will be a runner or whatever you're striving to be. And then, my last race got rained out last weekend. We were going to go run in the Panhandle, but I'll be running the 3 Bridge half marathon down in Clearwater. So kind of down, you guys,
nice.
Down that way. I know Kevin's from that area.
Yeah.
So going down there, and then the big race I'm training for is Boston in April. Run the Boston Marathon and then the Olympic trials in Atlanta. But we'll actually be in Houston in January.
Nice.
Angela, my wife, is making her debut in the marathon. Yeah, so we're bringing a big group to Houston, runners from all over the country, so really excited for that.
Awesome. So if you're running Houston, connect with Enoch or Angela. If you're running Boston, and then no matter if you're a runner or not, even if you don't care about running, watch those Olympic trials. Find some way. I don't know if NBC Gold has it what, but
it'll be on TV.
Okay, it'll be on TV. That is cool. You are in the presence of an Olympic trials athlete, everyone who's watching this now or later. Coach Enoch, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your value. We appreciate you, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you. Bye-bye.